Welcome back to Henryland, the podcast where we challenge common beliefs and dive into ideas that most people wouldn't even consider. Today, we're tackling a topic that might sound controversial at first, but hear me out. What if gambling is actually beneficial for kids? I know. We're constantly told that gambling is dangerous, addictive, and something to be avoided. But what if we're looking at it the wrong way? What if, instead of banning kids from gambling, we actually introduce them to it in a structured, responsible way? What if gambling could help teach them money management, strategic thinking, and resilience, skills that are absolutely essential for success in adulthood? So, let's lay our cards on the table and explore why letting kids gamble might not be as crazy as it sounds. We already teach kids about money from an early age. They learn how to save, budget, and sometimes even invest through school programs or stock market simulations. But for some reason, gambling is treated as an untouchable subject. Let's be honest. Investing in stocks is basically gambling with extra steps. People put their money in, hoping for a return, but there's no guarantee they'll make anything back. The difference is that one is seen as a smart financial move, while the other is labeled as reckless. But the core of the lesson is the same: managing risk. Gambling teaches kids how to assess risks, make calculated bets, and understand when to walk away. These are the same principles behind entrepreneurship, investing, and negotiating in business. If we introduce kids to gambling in a controlled way, they can develop these skills early instead of making costly mistakes later in life. Yippee! And let's talk about the economy. Kids make up a huge portion of the population, yet they have very little direct economic impact. Most of their money sits either in piggy banks or gets spent under parental supervision. But imagine if we allowed kids to participate in low-stakes gambling in a regulated environment. That's more money flowing into the economy, benefiting local businesses, entertainment industries, and even the government through taxation. Casinos and gambling platforms bring in billions each year, so why not expand that to include younger participants in a controlled, age-appropriate way? And here's something to consider. Kids are already gambling. Think about mobile games that use loot boxes, gacha mechanics, and pay-to-win models. These games encourage kids to spend money for a chance at a reward, which is the exact same principle as slot machines or scratch-off tickets. The only difference is that kids aren't winning real money, they're winning digital items, and yet these games generate millions in revenue every year. So if kids are already engaging in gambling-like behavior, wouldn't it be better to teach them to do it in a way that actually prepares them for real financial decision-making? But this isn't just about money. It's also about giving kids more agency over their own decisions. In America, we tend to treat kids as if they're incapable of making responsible choices. But in many European countries, for example, the drinking age is lower than in the US. And studies suggest that these countries actually have lower rates of alcohol abuse because young people learn to self-regulate at an earlier age. Now apply that same logic to gambling. If kids grow up completely sheltered from it, they won't develop the skills to manage it responsibly. But if they're introduced to gambling in a structured environment, they'll learn how to make smart decisions, when to stop, and how to handle losses. Giving kids the ability to gamble, even in a limited, controlled way, could be a step toward recognizing them as individuals capable of making financial choices. After all, if we trust them to save money, earn allowances, and even invest in stocks, why not let them experience risk and reward firsthand? Let's not forget that not all gambling is pure luck. Many games require strategy, math, and psychological skills. Take poker, for example. It's a game of probability, decision-making, and reading people. There's even an episode of Young Sheldon.
Keep going. Okay, lock in.
There's even an episode of Young Sheldon where his Meemaw teaches him about bluffing, which, let's be honest, it's just another way of saying negotiation skills. Kids who learn to read others, manage their emotions, and make strategic decisions under pressure will be better prepared for business, leadership, and even personal relationships. And perhaps the most important lesson, learning how to lose. Sports teach kids about winning and losing, and so does gambling. But unlike in youth sports where participation trophies have become the norm, gambling doesn't give you an award for just showing up. You either win or you lose, and you have to deal with the consequences. That kind of experience builds mental toughness, something that's sorely lacking in today's participation trophy culture. If kids learn how to handle losses early, they'll be less emotionally fragile as adults. At the end of the day, this isn't about sending kids into a casino with a pile of cash. It's about teaching them valuable skills in a controlled environment. If we introduce kids to gambling responsibly, they'll be better prepared to manage risk, make smart financial choices, and regulate their own behavior. They'll develop critical thinking, emotional resilience, and a healthy relationship with money. And on top of that, the economy could see a boost. So, next time you see a kid spending money on loot boxes or mobile games, ask yourself, why not let them gamble for real? Maybe it's time we rethink the way we approach this entire conversation. Thanks for listening to Henryland. If you enjoyed this discussion, place your bets on us by subscribing and leaving a review. Got a bold idea you think we should explore next? Let us know. We might just go all in on it. See you next time.